Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Boi chala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Boi kala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pini Shabbat nikabela. Boi kala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Boi kala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pini Shabbat nikabela. Boi kala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Boi kala, boi kala, boi kala, boi kala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pini Shabbat nikabela.
Well, good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our service. We didn't think we'd be streaming tonight, but thank you, thank you. We are reaching out to everyone else all over the place tonight as well, so it's really grateful. And to have such a big bar mitzvah family here. Well, we're going to start. Have you selected who's coming up for lighting candles? Please, if you'd like to come up and lead us. Page 2 in our prayer books. May the Shabbat candles we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, to look honestly and with kindness, and to see what's holy in each other. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. So we turn in our prayer books to page 4 at the middle of the page. Hine ma tov, how good and pleasant it is to be together.
It is so wonderful that we are all here together this evening. So please take just a moment to say Shabbat Shalom or to introduce yourself to someone sitting nearby or wave across the room, whatever's comfortable. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. You know, this feels like a really good time to mention with the vocal strength in this room right now that we are starting in the fall a B'nai Vail choir that is all ages. And so every single person in this room right now is welcome and encouraged to join us for that.
Good advertisement.
There's a lot of singers in this room right now.
We're going to be saying it every week, so it's okay.
Every day.
Middle of page 8, we'll continue with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits, and let Shabbat peace bring quiet to our souls. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. May the space we share become our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled. May the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions and let us look ahead toward the new week. We'll be worthy of all of God's blessings. As we welcome the angels of peace, we join together at the top of page 8.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Now that is most impressive, that as you come through the doors, walking down the aisles, you know you're singing Shalom Aleichem. We know that you're welcoming, and we're welcoming you here. As we turn to page 12 at the top of the page, Asai Nai, it's wonderful when we look up at our mountains. We ask God, from where does our help come? Originally, it was in Jerusalem. As the pilgrims approached Jerusalem, they looked up at their mountain. We'll join together, page 12, as it's written on here.
Asai Nai El Harim, Me'ayin Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Asai Nai El Harim, Me'ayin Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai, עושה שמיים וארץ, עזרי מעם אדוני. עושה שמיים וארץ, אסיינה אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. אסיינה אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ, עזרי מעם אדוני, עושה שמיים וארץ.
As they're doing all this construction, you can see around our chapel, we can't even go outside. But they were so careful to make sure that as the construction is happening, nothing flows into this beautiful stream outside, because we have a covenant with God. You can find that on page 15. We'll continue with our reading responsively. As we live amidst the trees, streams, and mountains of Vail, we pray for the care and healing of the earth, so that present and future generations may enjoy the fruits of creation. God made a covenant with Abraham and Sarah, blessing them and their descendants throughout the generations. We teach our children to love Judaism, to honor and carry on our traditions, the laws of the Torah, so our legacy may continue. A covenant with Abraham, generations, giving our people the 10 Commandments and challenging us. May each day be filled with kindness, honesty, and integrity, righteousness, so we remain filled with the promise of the covenants. We turn to page 16 as we join together Lecha Dodi, welcome the Sabbath bride.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'litchila lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor ha'veracha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzi mitoch ha'afaycha, Rav lach shevet be'emek halacha, vehu yachmol aleichem lecha dodi.
Likrat ka la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka la, pnei Shabbat nekabela. We rise the bottom of page 18, face the rear of the sanctuary as we greet the Sabbath bride.
Boi v'shalom at eretz bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, la lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat ka, pnei Shabbat nekabela. לך לך דודי לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. Paul, you thought everybody's turning around to face and say hello to you? Well, we do. That's what happens when you're toward the back. We say hello. It's nice. Very nice. Psalm 92 is found on page 21. It's one of the oldest psalms that we have in our prayer book. It's told the song of the Sabbath day, and we're told recited for the first time in the temple in Jerusalem. So we continue responsively in English, the top of page 21. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness and your faithfulness each night. The music of the lute and the harp, the melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight as the cantor continues, and join with her, the top of page 20.
Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodol le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodol le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid baboker chazdacha, ve'emunatcha balelot, alei asur ve'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Mizmor shir le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodol le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simchtani Adonai befo'alecha, ve'ma'aseh yadecha aranein. Magalu ma'asecha Adonai me'od, amku machshevotecha. Mizmor shir le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodol le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir le'Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodol le'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon.
We know we have so many visitors for Owen, and we're glad to have so many of you joining us tonight. And our prayer book would be a little less familiar to you because we wrote it, and we'd like to think, oh, everyone take one home, but you can't because we have it the whole summer. But enjoy them while you have them. And I think what's also unique about it, not just the readings that we had to write ourselves, but the pictures. So please enjoy those. There's not going to be another prayer book you'll find anywhere that says they're going to put color photos, so when the sermon gets slow and it's really boring, you just look at some of the pictures and enjoy. It's not a coloring book, but enjoy yourselves. Well, on page 23, we have that wonderful reading from 1921. It was in the Boston Globe. It was called Ask Dr. Crane. And when he wrote this reading so many years ago, it applies to all of us today, tomorrow, and forever. And whenever we have a visiting rabbi, Rabbi Klein, we're going to have you read for it. You're here for the whole summer, but I'll start you off right now. Please, if you'd like to lead us responsively. Now you look like a rabbi.
All right. Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for today, I will be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best to praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I'll forgive it and forget it. I'll try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I'll have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves, not get on theirs. I'll appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet, to relax, realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. So we turn to page 24. Owen's turn?
Yeah.
This is your warm-up for tomorrow. We all rise, page 24, for our call to worship and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
Hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vael Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vael.
May be seated. We could say this is your bar mitzvah and call it a day. That was good. That was very good. Turn in our prayer books to page 28 at the top of the page. You loved your people Israel with unceasing love and taught us Torah and mitzvot. Top of page 28.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu, U'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, Ki hem chayenu, Ve'orech yameinu, Uvahem negei yomam v'layla, Negei yomam v'layla, Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, Mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
We're surrounded by God's wondrous creations will continue responsively at the bottom of the page. As we join together on this Shabbat Eve, we take in the greatness of God's creations. As the snow melts on the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. And as the mountain springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. Creeks join streams and become the great rivers. Let our faith and love grow strong. And as we stand in awe of the great beauty of the Rocky Mountains, let our faith in God increase and renew. And let this Shabbat be a time of peace. Turn to page 30 at the top of the page, making a dramatic entrance to lead us in the Shema are all our kids.
Any other kids that are here would like to come lead us in Shema, you are welcome to as well.
Come on up.
Come on up.
This
Yeah,
isn't.
do it.
This is not like New York. We're very casual.
You don't have to be right by the mic. You can,
Everyone kind of get in close. Hug the microphone. Wait till everyone's there.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Lo Shem Kevod Mahu Tov Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Well, on this Shabbat evening, we seek peace and comfort, shield us from the hatred and destruction that plagues so many corners of the world, and console those in need. The top of page 34 as we join together, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamitenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamitenu malkeinu lechaim Ushmor tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechaim u'shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Now, because I know that there are some Jewish trivia nerds in the room, Does anyone know who the composer of that melody of Hashkivenu is? Just throw some Jewish composers out there. Yeah.
Irving Berlin.
It's not Debbie Friedman, but
No.
you're in the right vein. It's like a little of her era, maybe a little bit later than Debbie Friedman. Josh Nelson, pre-Josh Nelson, a tiny bit post Debbie Friedman.
From California?
He currently lives in California, yes.
Okay, it's not
Any
Irving-
more? Any more guesses? I love this. It's not Debbie. It's not Debbie.
Billy Joel.
It's not Klepper. I would consider them of like the same exact time frame.
Okay, we give up.
Okay. Craig Taubman. That's a Craig Taubman. That's a Craig Taubman. I was on the phone with Craig for an hour today talking about some other things, but
Coming here again.
I know we do need to bring him here. We
One
do
more
need
time.
to bring him here. Yes.
Well, as we continue on page 36, in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. Seventh day he ceased from his work and rested. We'll join in one of the 2 tunes for Vishamru.
They're in the mood for the peppy one. I can just feel it.
Okay.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam.
Well, the Birkat HaGomel prayer expresses our gratitude for the miracle of healing and the full restoration of one's health, to family and friends, and indeed to full restoration to life itself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, HaGomel l'chayavim tovot sheg gimalani kol tov. May God, who has bestowed kindness upon us, continue to bestow every goodness upon each of us and restore our health. For those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit, if you have a person in your life in need of healing, please, in a moment, feel free to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary. Page 38 as we join Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We keep in our thoughts and prayers Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Linda Colin, Bonnie Colton, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol N. Finn, David Freed, Jane Friedman, Deborah Goldman, Cliff Goldman, Donald Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Myers, Pedro Prince, Stephen Reese, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Bill Silvers, Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, Ann Tenenbaum, Toby Weinstock, Tevi Wellens, Mickey Winokur, and Gail Gerber. Thank you. Thank you.
Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn to page 40 in our prayer books and rise for the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivra kirutei ve'amlich machutei.
B'chayechon yomechon u'chayedecha beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman karev.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Yeshmei Rabba Mevarach Ya'alam V'lam Eomaya Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yidnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran b'yama.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Be not afraid of silence. It's more powerful than the unpolished word. It allows God's voice to be heard and tears and doubt to tumble out. As we continue the top of page 42 and then silently through page 57.
Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ofi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ofi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ofi yagid. Ofi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Adonai svatai tiftach. Ananana ofi yagid. Ofi yagid tehilatecha.
may be seated when you've completed the Amida. All who breathe shall sing out to God. As we continue, the cantor continues, the top of page 74.
Kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah. Kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah. All right, we're going to try this as a round. So first, I'll teach it to you because I know that was a surprise. But just repeat the first line after me. Listen. Kol ha-neshama, kol ha-neshama. Beautiful. Tehallel, tehallel, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, kol ha-neshama, kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah. One more time all together. Kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah. Now you get to try it yourselves. Here you go. Kol. All right, do it again. Here we go. Kol ha, kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah. Kol ha-neshama tehallel, hallelujah.
Well, you've got your choir right
Impressive.
here.
That was impressive.
Well, when most people are asked, what is the symbol of the state of Israel? Most are going to answer probably the Magen David, the Star of David, because it adorns the Israeli flag. The fact is, though, that it's not the symbol of the state of Israel. The symbol is found in this week's Torah portion, Balotecha, where we read, V'amarta elav behalotecha et hanerot, that the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and say, when you light the lamps, the 7 lamps shall cast a light upon the face of the front. What's the 7-branched menorah, which stands at the Israel's Knesset, that's actually the official symbol of the state of Israel. But you know, not everything is as it appears to be, because the menorah, well, it's shrouded in mystery, and we really don't know what it probably even looked like. So most decorative menorahs, when you go into another synagogue anywhere around the world, they're going to have 6 branches on them, while the temple menorah had 7. And they have the 6 just to show that this is not the temple menorah. Now, no one knows for sure what happened to the temple menorah. We know that it was taken into exile after the destruction of the temple by the Romans, but what then? Well, perhaps we need more of an Indiana Jones fourth movie or fifth movie to come out to find out what really happened, because we haven't the slightest idea where it might be. There's theories that range all the way from it's buried somewhere in Jerusalem or it's in the basement of the Vatican. It would seem the one thing we know for sure is what was the purpose of that menorah. Now, there seems to be differences of opinions amongst the rabbis. Some say the menorah is meant to be the symbol of the nation of Israel, so we are known as a light unto the nations. Others say that the 7 branches, they represent the 7 heavenly bodies of ancient times. And then there are those that think the 7 lights are the branches of human knowledge, with God being at the center of the light. Now, let me tell you what I learned when I was in rabbinical school studying with one of the great professors of Bible. No one knew for sure what the menorah looked like, and no one knows whatever happened to it. And that's, what do we do, is we have to answer the question, instead, why were we told to kindle the menorah in the temple? It has nothing to do with the 7 spheres. It doesn't have anything to do with the light of the world or light into the nations. That we know. So what was the reason for the menorah? Well, the answer can be found actually as we look up to our eternal light. Every synagogue around the world memorializes the ancient temple menorah by hanging their Ner Tamid, the eternal light that glows in every Jewish house of worship around the world. Now, my professor asked all of us great future rabbis, he does it with a little bit of a smirk, but he said, why was the light called the eternal light? And he pauses, and we're never going to answer because we think it's more rhetorical. Not because the menorah burnt all the time in the temple, but it's called eternal because it burned every day in the temple. It didn't burn for 24 hours a day. And you know when it burned? He turns to all of us. No one ever answers these people. He said, it burned at night. And now everyone in class, he asked, and do you know why it burned at night? Because it was dark. And it got really dark in the temple. Well, that's why there was a menorah. The menorah made it possible for you to see what you're doing and what's going on inside the temple. Now, as an aside, you might be interested to know that this is another explanation of why every Friday night we have that sacred ritual of lighting the Shabbat candles in our home. Now, there's all kinds of mystical, mythical, and poetic reasons given for lighting of the candles on Friday night. But the real reason, since ancient times, for lighting the Shabbat candles, because you're not allowed to turn on a light on Shabbat, and if the candles were not lit before Shabbat, you'd be sitting in your house in the dark. So Judaism does not want us to be in the dark. In fact, the Torah is referred to as Torah or the light of the Torah. But still, I think it's interesting to note that the menorah is the only temple article the Jewish tradition has us remember in the synagogue. And we remember the menorah through that Ner Tamid. We don't have an altar. We don't have any of the other ritual items of the temple, but it was light. Light we needed eternally at all times and under all circumstances. So let us remember that when Israel's menorah, the symbol comes from, when the state of Israel chose the menorah, it was the new state symbol, and they knew that, didn't know exactly what that gold menorah was going to look like. And they had to think back, what would it have been in ancient times in the temple? So someone remembered that there was a sculpture of the menorah on the Arch of Titus in Rome. The arch was built when the Romans exiled the Jews from the land of Israel. And when you look on the side of the arch, you can see it today. There's the sculptured images of the temple vessels, including the menorah up on the top. It's being taken into exile by the Jews after being destroyed by the Romans. And it has the words, Judea capta. Judea is captured and Judea is vanquished. Well, this is the most ancient depiction we have of the menorah from the temple, and it was adapted then as the national emblem of the state of Israel. So out of a symbol, if you have to think about this, out of a symbol of destruction and humiliation of our people, we were able to find a symbol of what would become the rebirth and the new beginning of the Jewish state. B'chol dor v'dor, in every generation, a nation rises to destroy us. But through it all, LaYehudim hayta ura v'simcha, for the Jews, there was always light and joy. Through everything that we've gone through, they wrote that LaYehudim hayta ura v'simcha, for the Jews, there's always going to be light and joy. We have a lot going on. If you have a chance and you're going to be here for the summer or for any more time, this brochure that Janet makes and updates every single week for us tells us the many, many things that are happening, and I only want to highlight a few, especially what's coming up on July 2nd. July 2nd at the Molina Ranch. It's a ranch which is not open to the public, but we're welcoming Bishvil HaMachar, which are Israeli wounded soldiers. There are about a dozen that will be coming. And if you are here, it would be nice to show the support from the congregation of all of them that are coming. They'll be spending about 10 days on the ranch. They bring some doctors and psychiatrists to work through many of the things that they went through in Israel during the wars. So we really encourage many of you to come out to that ranch. It's for reservations only, and it's easy to make the reservations and to come join us. But it's a really important weekend, and it's our Shabbat service. So we have a beautiful brunch. Then we join with our Israeli brothers and sisters, and please look at more details for that. We have also
There's
your
just
B'nai B'rith program.
so much coming up. Yes, on Sunday we have the Leadville Cemetery cleanup. The historic Jewish cemetery has been in Leadville for 150 years. That's the history of Jews in Colorado. It was the place where the train stopped, and so there's a very rich Jewish history in Leadville, and we are so honored to be able to take part in the cleanup. Everyone is absolutely welcome to attend. It's free to attend. Donations welcome, but not necessary. And if you need help signing up for that, I'm happy to get you a link. We're also so excited for Owen's bar mitzvah tomorrow up atop the mountain. It's going to be super, super special and exciting. He's been working so hard. Get to hear a little bit of that tonight for those of you who won't be there with us tomorrow. And just so many things coming up. We're so
just a couple
excited.
more.
Yeah, check the bulletin. July 9th, we're so excited. Thanks to the Kaufmans. We have Colleen Deeker coming in, who is a world-famous Jewish musician, playing violin, singing, and playing keyboard as well. And we're so excited that she'll be joining us for Mountaintop. And she requested that we get a local percussion player as well. So we have a whole tefillah band joining us for
On top of the mountain.
For Mountaintop on July 9th.
And just this morning, we got a call from the Consul General of the State of Israel, Dr. Hillel Newman, not related. He's going to be coming joining us for a town hall to learn more about what's happening in Israel, especially as you read the news about what's going on with Iran and their nuclear program. This is the one we want to ask. And there was one more, many more.
Just several thousand other events throughout the summer.
You just have to read. I can't go through all these. Janet, was there one more that we were going to say? We're good? Okay, every one of the. Oh, I was going to mention, we just got a call from Vail Health, which is the hospital, and they said that the Jerusalem stone has just arrived, and it went from Mitzpeh Ramon, which is a quarry near Beersheba, south of Jerusalem, where King Solomon used the quarry to build the temple in Jerusalem. We ordered stone from the same quarry. It was sent to Florida, and now it just was trucked up here, and we're building a scale replica of the western wall inside the hospital chapel. So when you go in the chapel, you can leave a little note. You can have a place to go where it's nice, quiet, and calm. It's we're still raising the funds to do this, but it's going to be amazing, and it's not here, but I think our legacy that we're leaving to the hospital. So please take one of these. I can't go through all of them, but there's so many wonderful things almost every day that's happening, and more are being added all the time. Owen, you think you still remember the Elena? We're good. Okay. I want to give you a microphone.
Yeah, we'll come up.
Last time as a young man before you become an old man tomorrow, we rise and join together with Elenu. As we turn in our prayer books to page 60.
Aleinu l'shabea la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kagoya haratzot, velo samanu k'mishbehota adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, umishchahavim umodim, lifnei melech, Malhei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Natei Shamayim Ve'yosed Aretz Umoshe V'Karo B'Shamayim Ima'al Ushchinatu Zo Begav Hei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulato Kakatu B'Torato V'Adada Hayom B'Hashivota Elevavecha Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim B'Shamayim Mima'al Vail haaretz mitachat einod. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together, yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Elizabeth Adler, Madeline Barnett, Mark Behan, Gloria Block, Anna Breitbord, Goldie Cohn, Herbert Dvorkin, Herbert Edinburgh, Estelle Fleischer, Inez Gerson, Harriet Goldberg, Eva Goldman, Bernard Kaplan, Eugene Kleinman, Frank Lautenberg, Stanley Lear, Sigrid Linz, Irma Lubin, Elaine Lustig, Florence Malman, Howard Marcus, Ludwig Meyer, Raphael Picciotto, Karen Pope, Shirley Port, Jacob Rice, Tara Rizzo, Leonard Rothman, Rhea Scheller, Marjorie Schaff, Lee Scrudders, Milton Schoenholtz, Marshall Siegel, Florence Singer, Shirley Steller, David Stern, Ann Waldbaum, Fellas Zerden. And our sincerest condolences to the family of Igor Leventhal, who passed away this past week. If anyone else is observing yahrzeit.
Sonia Rosenberg. And Milton Reddick.
Thank you. The mourner's cottage can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with me as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imramein. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama v'miramein. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'miramein. Oseh shalom v'mrama, uya oseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'miramein. You may be seated. Again, a welcome to all of you that are visiting or here for the summer. Rabbi Rebbitzin, glad to have you for the whole summer. And everyone else who's come to join us from all over the place, sometimes to get out of the heat of where you were. We'd like to think you'd come here because you like us, but Florida and Texas are over 100 degrees, so we know why you're really here. And you're beginning 8th year.
Yes.
And my 9th year, beginning this summer. I missed out 1 year where we had to duct tape her, throw her in the trunk, and say, "Stay here."
That's what
So she would-
happened. Yes.
8 years ago. So it's really wonderful to have us joining with all of you. Owen, we're ready. So get a good night's sleep. We'll see you at the gondola tomorrow morning for a 9:30 upload. And we're ready to go with all of you and to all the family. Welcome to all of you that are here. It's wonderful having you. I saw many of those drinking water. Keep drinking a lot of water so you don't get that headache, and get a lot of rest. So we're glad to have so many of you with us. We'll continue page 66. Adon Olam, I don't have a special.
I don't know. Anyone have any suggestions for a melody for Adon Olam?
It's always dangerous to ask what we are.
I know. I like living on the edge, though. We'll
Okay.
ask them. It doesn't have to be an Adon Olam tune. It can just be any tune. What? Three Little Birds? Okay. I don't know if, have we? Maybe you. Yeah, I think that happened, maybe a year ago. Yeah. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Ve'achareh Kichlot HaKol, Levado Imloch Nora, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hoveh, Vehu Yeh V'Tifara, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, L'hamshilo, L'hachbira, Bli Reshit, Bli Tachlit, V'lo ha'oz, V'hamisra, V'hu Eli, V'chai Goli, V'tzor Chavli, V'eit Sarah, V'hu Nisi, Umanos Li, Menat Kosi B'yom Ekra, B'yado, Avkid Ruchi, V'eit Dishan, V'a'ira, V'im Ruchi, Gviati, Adonai li, V'lo ira.
Okay, that's
That
what happens
anything
when we
goes.
ask for requests. Let's rise for a closing blessing. Adonai Oz Li'amo Yitain, Adonai V'rechet Amo V'Shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people and bless all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
Shabbat Shalom. And where is your column?
Bim bam,
There's Kala in the back for everyone.
Bim bim bim
Thank you.
bim bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.